Good evening, people. This is podcast Southern Smoke, and today we have a multi-platinum artist here today with us, and he's going to give y'all some insight on his career. Here, his name is Mul-Ty, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself to y'all.
All right, man. Shout out to Southern Smoke. Thanks for having me. First of all, Mul-Ty from South GA. I've been doing music professionally since 2000. Doing music basically my whole life, and yeah, we here.
So, Mul-Ty, can you give us some insight on what inspired you to start singing?
Well, my first music inspiration, I would say, was my father. He's passed on now, but I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid, so um, my dad always had a piano in the house, and I would always know how my daddy was feeling by the music that he played. And so I learned that was an outlet at a young age. And so I learned to express myself the same way.
So, by you being a preacher's kid, you was raised in a church. Was you in the choir?
I directed choirs. I played for my daddy's choirs. Them was the first audiences I knew was church. Yeah.
So, what age did you knew that you had that gift to reach out to the world and let them know that you had that talent to sing? You wanted them to hear what you had to say.
I think, the answer to that, like I always say, I always encourage parents to lie to their children. I know I used to sing songs to my mama at a young age. I was right. They probably was stupid, but she told me they was great, so I believed it. So I tell my a lot of people that whatever you tell your children they're great at, they're probably gonna be great at it. So yeah, I thank my mama for them lies and all. So yeah, I think what my mama told me that was good. I believed it. So
Right, right.
yeah.
So, since you've been singing in the music industry,
Hmm.
what impact have that had on your personal life?
Wow, man. I really don't know how to separate it. My music is my personal life, man. I don't like try to portray nothing I'm not when I'm on stage or recording. All you get is really my life. I thank God for my supporters, my fans. I used to always say I love y'all to my fans, but it took me going through a tragedy in my life to really embrace my fans differently because they stood with me during a time when I was broken and I couldn't even do music, and I was getting thousands of emails, man, and saying we just praying for you, we holding you up, and that
Right.
meant everything to me. So yeah, shout out to Team Mul-Ty. Yeah.
Okay. I've been following along with your music for a long time,
Hmm.
and it's very touching. I mean, if anybody got a love story, it's Mul-Ty. So I've seen viral TikToks on social media. Lots of people getting married to your songs.
Hmm.
How did that make you feel?
Man, my song "Looking for Love," man. Yeah, a shout out to everybody who supported that record. Became my first gold record last year in the UK and the US. But I remember the night that I recorded that record, and I wasn't supposed to record it. I was sent to Atlanta to work with a producer to record a different song, and God just did something different, gave me a different melody, and that song came out. It wasn't written. I kind of just freestyled it like straight out. That's why I like got no structure, like no verse and chorus, just me
Right.
singing. But anyway, I remember right after I recorded it, man, me and the producer Gerald Hall, we did a circle prayer in the studio, and I heard him when we was praying, and part of the prayer was, God, we want people to fall in love and get married to this song all over the world. And I mean, it really must have went from my mouth to God's ears, man, because man, when I see that how it has became the wedding song, it's crazy, man. I've sang in other countries at people's weddings, man, for royal
Right.
families, for some of Hollywood's best, man. And I'm humbled that God gave me that record, and I'm grateful, and it's the gift that keeps on giving, man. think every artist really want to make that song that's gonna outlive you. And I'm grateful that Looking for Love seemed to be that record.
Okay. Seeing that you come from a church going family,
Mm-hmm.
were you the only child?
No, I was actually the last to sing, man. I got older sisters, and my sister Michelle, man, she had a tough group called Michelle and the Gospel Five. And my daddy saw me more as he would sit me on the piano and say, "Play for your sisters," and you know, and that was my role. I never saw myself as a singer. I was writing songs, and my sister Michelle sang so good. I remember her catching me on the piano singing one day when I thought nobody was there. And she was like, "Boy, you really can sing, bro." And you got, when somebody that does it on the level she did it on tell you that, you
Right,
kind of,
right.
it does something for your confidence. So, yeah.
Early on in the interview, you stated that you were a preacher's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did your father take to you singing? I mean, was was he affected by it, or did he support you?
Man, I remember I used to have this record. My first record was a Brother Johnson record, Strawberry Letter 22. I don't know if you remember that song. Anyway, it's an old song called Strawberry Letter. And I had ordered it, and I had it was called Strawberry Letter, and I actually had the Strawberry Senate record. Whoever bought the first 100 record, it was a Strawberry Senate record, and we
Right.
wasn't supposed to play nothing but gospel in our house. So my dad would leave, I'd get to play that record. And one day, why you always writing? Cause he would call blues, and they don't write. Why you don't write gospel songs? And I said, well, that ain't what God given me, Pop. And he would, but then one night I remember being up and late night, and I hear him in the room singing Luther Vandross to my mama, and I said, "Wait a minute now, Pop, can't have it both ways." So he took me on a ride, man. He had an 8-track recorder. He had an Oldsmobile in it, and that was the first time I heard Lenny Williams. That was the first time I heard Al Green and Marvin. And he played them songs for me, and he said, "Son, if you're gonna do it like that. Do it for real. Make music that's gonna touch people."
Right.
And so from that day on, me and my pops he became my support system. So yeah, I had to catch him singing Luther, man.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
So, are you currently in the studio? Can we as the fans be looking forward to an album coming out from you soon?
No albums, but I've been doing a lot of singles. I've been releasing a lot of singles, and right now, honestly, I'm at a transition place where I've never really thought I was a singer that writes. I always felt like a writer that just happens to sing. And so I've been focusing more on my songwriting, writing for other artists right now. I got some songs on some movies now. Yeah, I'm moving my pen more these days.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not touring this year. I'm doing shows here and there where they book me, but no tours this year. Nothing. I'm just focused on, because I really believe that the only difference between a singer and a successful singer is the right record. And I really want to be that bridge for many singles as I can. I love writing. I sing most days. I write every day. Last night, man, it was 3 in the morning. I had to get up and sing something in my phone before I knows it come to me. I
Right.
can't even turn it off. So yeah, God give me songs, and every night, every one of them for me.
So, how is your family support system?
Man, listen, man. My mother, my late father, I talked about. He was and still an angel on my shoulder. My sisters, we tighter than I got, some sisters, and we all super close, man. Younger brother Derek, we super close, man. Honestly, man, I'm grateful to God, for my mama and my sisters, my brother, and man, I couldn't ask for more family support. To be honest, man, they ride with me when the whole world against you. You can always depend on them.
True. True.
Yeah, yeah.
I've noticed on some of your latest blogs that you've been doing a lot of traveling,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen you taking pictures with celebrities and you know
Mm-hmm.
other artists. Are you working on anything big or
Yeah,
just
yeah. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I had an opportunity to meet one of my favorite songwriters who I grew up listening to. Like, man, he's the best, and he named me as one of his favorite writers recently. And that done a lot, man. Like, honestly, man. And so I'm getting to write for artists now that I grew up listening to, and it's exciting. Not just I don't just write for A-list artists. I write for independent artists.
right?
Whoever reaches out and got the budget. I'm working with whoever, man. I'm enjoying it, man. I think most artists got this place in their mind where they feel like they want to quote unquote make it. I don't know what that means. Make it at what
Right.
point? I guess that's an independent journey. But I tell them, don't, man, let me tell you, right? I learned that it's not even the destination, it's the journey, man. I was sitting there one day and I'm talking to my cousin D, man, we was in Alabama. And I said, man, we always thought we wanted to be on the record company. We was on this record company and everything was just all the things that I put on my list of things I thought was making it, I had checked off.
Mm-hmm.
But and after that happened, when we get together, all we was talk about was the journey. My cousin might be like, "You remember that time we had to hitchhike to this show to do this, to do that?" And we laughed and realized like that was the best moments of our life, man. And I like to tell a lot of artists, man, don't miss the ride. Yeah, it's never the destination. I think the journey is the most beautiful part.
So, what type of mindset uh, were you in when you actually wrote uh, "Looking for Love"?
Okay, so they sent me to Atlanta to work with a producer that I've never met, Gerald Hall. What's up, Gio? And I was supposed to record a song I had wrote called "The Girl," and that's what my manager sent me down there to do. And so I get to Atlanta, and him and his wife was going. They was going out to a ball, and it was a couples ball. And he said, "Man, we got to get you a tux." And I went with them, man. I sat in a room with probably 100 couples, man, and I was the only one there single. and
Really?
yeah, yeah, and I got to hear all these couples, and I had been humming this melody all day, right? I'm talking about I had this melody for Looking for Love. I didn't have no words. I was just humming this tune. And so we go to the ball and I'm listening to all these couples talking about how they love each other and how this and that. And man, I had never in my life wanted to be in a relationship before that moment. I was good just doing
Yeah.
my music and in that moment though I started like, wow, that must be nice. And we get back to his house from the ball and he said, "We're gonna work tonight, man, instead of tomorrow." I said, "All right, let's." We go in the studio in his basement, and I thought we was gonna do The Girl because that's what they sent me there to do. And he said, "I want to do whatever that is that you've been humming all night." And I said, "That ain't even no record. There ain't no words. I'm just this tune stuck in my
Right.
head." So he said, "I think God trying to do something different." He picked up a guitar, told me to go in the booth, and he said, "Man, whatever, just let it out." And I sang that song from start to finish. And when I came out of the studio, I was used to some type of reaction from people if they like something. But it was so quiet, man. Like the old folks say, you could hear a rat piss on cotton. It was quiet. And I was sitting there trying to figure out, like, whether they loved the song or not. And right then, man, we did a circle prayer. He said, "This your record." And I was like, "Man, we can't put this out. They want me to do this." And man, that song ended up changing my life, family's life, man. I and never saw it coming. So the mindset I was in, really, man, I just had this image of somebody that I never met that I was just singing to,
Right.
and yeah, yeah,
So, I'm assuming like when you wrote well wishes. And, I mean, when I think about these songs, I mean, it take you somewhere. So I mean, you really giving people examples and scenarios of actual relationships.
Yeah.
So when you write, I know when fans look at you, most of them be like, "Oh man, he's on point with this one." So I mean, how did Well Wishes come about?
Man, that's I think the breakup song because I had a friend and he found out he was a truck driver and he found out his wife was doing the worst when he wasn't around, and he had cameras in his house. I will not say your name, don't worry, bro. But he caught some stuff, man, and I knew he was broken. You know, as a man, I know how I would feel. So I pull up on him, and his mother was there, whatever. And I said, "Man, you good?" And he said, "Yeah, I wish you the best. Well, wish you too." And I said, "No, you don't." Because see, I don't believe that if somebody crumble your heart like that, that you hope they win the lottery the next day. I just don't buy that. And you ain't got to be fake with me. I'm your boy.
Right.
And so I was like, "No, you don't." And his mother started talking about forgiveness, and I understand that forgiveness is important, but I also understand that forgiveness is a process.
Right.
And so I decided to say what he wouldn't say. I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna stand in his shoes and say what he won't say. Cause he sitting here wishing her well. Man, you know what I mean? Somebody, I don't seen somebody cuss somebody and say, "Yeah, God bless you." They don't mean that. I don't seen somebody cuss somebody out and say, "All right, I wish you well." Drive off mad. They don't mean that. So I wrote "Well Wishes" to be the most honest breakup song that anybody ever heard. Cause we all been hurt, man.
But truthfully, deep down, it was dedicated to him.
Yeah, it was sprung from him, but it took me back to the place when I went through it. You see what I'm saying? Right. It took me to the place. Everybody's been hurt before.
Right.
Everybody's had somebody play with their heart before, man. So Well Wishes to me was me taking his situation that sparked that feeling back in me and said, I'm gonna say it for everybody. I ain't saying for all the men, cause women been hurt too.
Right.
For everybody, that's been hurt. Let me say this. So yeah, man, that song was just that. The honest truth, how you feel.
Right.
So yeah.
You're a very inspiring artist, and you got some powerful talent, man, a powerful voice. What advice can you give any artist out there right now that's trying to make it to where you are, where you been, the things that you're experiencing now in the music industry? What advice can you give them?
Man, you gotta singers, you gotta keep your heart right, man. You can't put love in a microphone if it don't live in your heart, man. There was a time that I was in a dark place and I knew that I needed to be quiet. I didn't do music until I healed. My heart was broken. I was mourning and I went through some dark thoughts because of everything was tied to that. Yeah, man, it's a lot, man. People don't know about my story, I found out my son was dead by getting a call from my wife's boyfriend who was in the car with her and my son. You understand? I got a call from another man that was once my friend to tell me my son was dead.
Wow.
And he was in the car with her. I went through a dark way, man. Do you know what that does to a man, man? Man, bro. Everybody in that car died to me that day. You know what I mean? Oh. But I knew that I needed to be quiet because that ain't what I need to put into the world, man. I got to let God heal me before I could say anything else. And so everybody was like, when you done dropping more music, I couldn't speak right there, man. Sometimes that God, people not even singing, we just got to know when to shut up, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So at this point, when you was in this dark place,
yeah,
did you write anything?
I did.
What songs did you write?
song that I really released recently called "Crazy My Crazy World."
Okay.
I wrote it in a facility, man. Trying to do something stupid, and they put me in this place, man. And this one guy was still fixing me,
Right.
and I wrote that "My Crazy World," and the first song I recorded after it was called "Just a Man." These songs out, and like I say, man, through it all, like I talk about it all through my music. I've never spoke on what I just said to you, never to nobody,
Right.
So because I couldn't, but I'm stronger now. So when I tell people God a heart fixer, this ain't no rumor I heard. This ain't nothing I had to read in a book. It happened thousands of years ago. In the book of my life, God has shown me that He's a heart fixer. Yeah,
Well, from me to you, Southern Smoke, we appreciate you sharing that.
for sure.
And I think the fans would appreciate it as well because everybody deserves to get to know you, not just the musical side, but what's going on inside your personal life as well.
No doubt.
Certain things that the fans should know. Because nobody's perfect out there. You know, everybody experiences death at some
Mm-hmm.
point in time. Um, are you working on anything outside of entertainment that's probable
Mm.
concerning helping? You know,
Yes. I have been doing. I'm a vocal trainer. I teach piano and vocal training on the side.
right,
And I was inspired by something because when I was younger, man, I remember when I stopped. When I figured out one day with more people on music than drugs, you know what I'm saying? I changed my hustle. Like, I ain't changed my hustle, I changed the product.
right,
I kept the hustle, but I changed what I was selling.
right,
And so I went back to my friends on the block and I said, man, I'm trying to, we don't have to do this. It's a better way.
yeah,
And one of my friends, man, Ace, he kept it real with me. He said, Ty, listen, man. He said, I hear you. He said, but Sunday, you got to go play at church. He said, Wednesday, you're going to go play that country ball. Friday, you're going to play the hole in the wall. And then next Sunday, you're going to be back in church and get another check. He said, we don't do that. So when he said that to me, it made me realize something, that God had gave me an option through the music. So I'm trying to get that option to many people as I can. So, I'm starting a music school. I told you the other day I was looking for a building.
right.
My desire is to teach many as I can, the music, man.
That's nice, bro.
Yeah, yeah, man. Just because it's hard for me to tell somebody to take this out their hand and don't put nothing else in it, though. So and that's what I had to learn. If you're gonna tell me don't get money this way, how can I teach me? Man, some people call me, man, about music advice, how to get from this level to this level. And man, I stay on the phone with hours, and I know they're trying to make it, so I ain't gonna hit them with no consultation fee because I realize though, when you do what you're supposed to do, God ain't gonna never let your well run dry. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
So yeah, man. I think sometimes we miss the big blessing worrying about trying to get a little money from somebody up front. That's what I've learned. You got to have faith to move like that. So I ain't trying to advise nobody else to that don't believe God like that. But if you got that kind of faith, man, I promise, if you do for God people, He'll never let your well run dry. Never. He said, I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread, bro. 100. I can stand on it.
I agree with you. I agree
Yeah,
with you. And I
yeah,
can say, I've watched you, and I know you have what it takes to make something happen in the community. We need more artists that's going to have community involvement,
right,
be involved in the community more, because we're losing these kids. Most of them, they have hope, but they don't know what's routes to take because they're lost.
right.
and the role models that they have are leading the wrong way.
Right.
You know, and a lot of kids get it mixed up. They think that most music is real instead of entertainment.
Man, I was in the studio in Atlanta recently, and I ain't gonna say his name, but I was in the studio recently with a rapper, man. That you'll trip out if I tell you like this man could pass a urine test, but all he rap about is getting high.
Right.
And I think the youth don't understand that that's entertainment. It's an act. It's a facade.
Right.
Like, do you really think these gangster rappers are really gangster? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, come on, man. But it's funny, like I say, cause you know, man, when you from the trenches, you know it when you see it. But a lot of the youth, they don't, and they just buy into that lifestyle, you know. And man, I don't understand the rappers out here making that prison music, like trying to send all our kids up the road. Man, if you're gonna rap about the dope game, man, rap about how much time they giving out. Rap about how your homeboy gonna tell on you. Rap about everything. Don't just talk about the pretty side of the dope game. You know, because I played that game, I seen some ugly parts, man.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I don't understand it, man. We the only race of people that make music by killing each other and disrespecting our women, man. I listen to country music, man. Ain't no woman got to be a bitch. I listen to everything. Well, we the only people, and I never understood that for the life of me. Like, why we there? Why we there, man?
I agree with you.
Yeah, man. You know,
and they make millions just off selling country music.
I mean, you telling me nothing else to rap about?
I think it's the direction that the government wants us to go in. You know, I mean, if you look at it from a perspective where we come from, there's no change.
Right.
There's no change. But like I say, with people like you in our community, and you putting out positive energy, you putting out peace, and I think that's a good look, especially for the state of mind that these kids are in these days. And man, I really appreciate you from thus far. I really do, and I'm quite sure the community does as well.
I'm gonna speak one more thing to the rappers, man. I listened to a rap album the other day, and I kept hearing, "I'll rob me a nigga, I'll shoot me a nigga." I heard all that in the record,
Right.
and my mind told me, if he took that word nigga and said any type of degrading name referring to white people instead of people that look like him, do you know that would be called hate music? And that man would never be allowed to make another record in this industry. But as long as he talking about harming people in his own community that look like him, they'll push that to the top of the chart. It's like why we can't see what's going on.
Right.
Like I feel like rap music has done more to hurt black people than the KKK. I swear.
Right.
So yeah, I wonder whose side you're on.
So if you had the opportunity to work with another artist right now to do a duo, who would you do it with?
Man, Babyface, man.
Babyface?
Yeah, he one of my favorite writers, man. Babyface, man. I would have said Kels, man, if he was out here, but shout out to R. Kelly, man. You know, I love artists, man, more than singers. When I say that, like, you know, the guys who can paint their own pictures and
right, because everybody not creative.
No, man. Some people just singers, but I like artists. Babyface, Kels, man, they're my guys, man. I recently got to do a song with Edwin McCain, man, and he's definitely one of my favorite writers growing up, man. And it was crazy, man, like, because he's a whole different genre of music, you know?
Right.
And to be able to write and sing a song with him, I used to get dressed for school in the morning, listen to him on the radio, like, My mama said that song's on you though, you know. So to be in the studio working and singing with him now is crazy, man. But
True.
Babyface, then Babyface gonna do something. Yeah, we definitely gonna do something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a good look. I think that'll go far.
Straight up.
I don't want to take up any more time. This is Southern Smoke and Mul-Ty. We appreciate you for coming out, and I hope we can have you on the show again.
For sure.
I appreciate everybody for watching. Mul-Ty, if you have anything else to say, you can look at the camera, get your fans where they can find you at.
All right. You can catch my Facebook, Mul-Ty Music with a Z and a C on music. That's my personal page where I'm talking the most at. My artist page, follow that too, Mul-Ty, MUL-TY. It's a couple fake ones, but mine is the one with the blue check, MUL-TY. Same thing on TikTok, Mul-Ty Music with a Z and a C in music. IG, Mul-Ty Nation. And I don't do the Twitter and all that. But yeah, shout out to Southern Smoke. Next time we're gonna do a live performance on here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, you can give us a sample
we
now.
gotta give them something to wait for. All right, y'all be blessed, man.
See y'all later.
Better get your Southern Smoke.